Hey y'all, my name is Celia. Most people know me as Cece. I am here to share my fibroid testimony, so let's get into it. So, tail end of 2020, and two quick things to keep in mind. I've never had normal periods, and I am 30 at the time. Now, around this time, my pain, everything that comes with your periods getting worse, right? My pain, blood clot size is increasing, just everything just getting worse. But it was a specific incident that took place that made me realize I need to actually go see a doctor. I was in Target, probably didn't even need to be a Target shopping, and I just collapsed out of nowhere. And I didn't think anything of it because I just thought maybe I'm tired, maybe I need a Red Bull, maybe I need to go get a Diet Coke. Like I just didn't know what that was. But I've never passed out in my life. So I was just like, maybe I need to go get this checked out. But I'm not thinking again that it is connected to my period. So fast forward, we're now in January 2021. I go to this OB and, I tell her what's going on. I say, hey, my symptoms are getting worse. Like, I don't know what's going on, but can you just take a look? So she does an ultrasound, and keep in mind, I'm looking right at the screen. So I just see there's this huge mass of something. And I'm just looking at that, like, what is that? So she was like, oh, yeah, you have a fibroid. And I'm just looking at her like, are you gonna explain what it is? And she was just like, I mean, it's common amongst Black women. So I was like, girl, what is it? Did not rub me the right way at all. Anyways, so she was like, well, still not telling me really what it is. She was just like, well, if you keep the fibroid there, you're not gonna be able to have kids. And I just start like hysterical crying because I'm just like, how did we even get there? Like, what is it? She finally gets into it. She's like, oh, well, it's a tumor, it's benign. But again, if you don't get it removed, you can't have children. Pause. I was like, we don't need to say anything else. Remove it. Because girl, what? I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I haven't even given myself a fair shot to like have kids. So of course, no, remove it. So fast forward, she refers me to another doctor, and April 2021, I get it removed. Also sharing this for context, you'll hear me say that 25 times in this video. I did get an IUD placed after recovery from that surgery. So May 2022, I went for a hike and I just started feeling some funky pain towards the end of the night, not thinking anything of it because y'all, I don't be stretching sometimes. I've gotten better now. I don't be stretching normally though, before I work out. So I'm just like, oh, like maybe I'm just a little sore from the hike, whatever, not thinking anything of it. I'm like, I'm gonna pop a Tylenol, take a shower and go to bed. But towards the end of the night, I couldn't actually go to my bed. Like my bed's a little off the ground, so you kind of have to like scooch a little bit, and I couldn't scooch. So I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna sleep on my couch. Woke up the next day, I couldn't sit up straight. So I'm like, did I pull something? Whatever. Fast forward, I call my boss. I'm like, can you come pick me up? Like I can't drive. I don't know what's going on. She's like, you need to go to the hospital. I was like, no, I don't. I probably pulled something. Fast forward, I ended up actually having to go to the hospital. It probably lasted about maybe 10 minutes at work. So go to the hospital, the doctors ran tests, and they were like, hey, so did you know you have 3 fibroids? I was like, girl, no, I don't. And she was just looking at me so confused because I was like, hello, I don't. She was like, yes, you do. I said, no, I don't. Like, I just had surgery last year. What do you mean I have 3? She's like, you have 3 fibroids. So I just was like, I just couldn't even process all that because again, it had been a year, right? Surgery was April 2021. We're now in May of 2022. So she's like, oh, I'll refer you to this OB. So I'm just like, there's no way this could be real that we're even going through this again. Now I'm seeing this doctor that they recommended, they referred me to, at the hospital. So she just starts off by giving me, just all this medication. And she's just like, hey, you need to take this for pain management. I'm just like, okay. Now keep in mind, maybe a week into taking this medication, like I had just all this crazy swelling, like in my uterus. Like, I mean, like, y'all, I was like walking like a duck in my house. Just like, I just couldn't walk straight. I just didn't know what was going on. So, I called the doctor. I'm like, hey, like, I can't like move correctly. And she's like, yeah, it's because you have those fibroids. I said, no. Something else is going on. Like there's swelling going on. I go see her. She gives me more pain medication. So I'm like, no, it's like something isn't right. So I'm just like, now my mom is like, you need to take out that IUD. So I was just like, okay. So I go back to the doctor again. I said, can you take out the IUD? She said, well, I don't think that's the problem. I said, you just take it out. Take it out, the swelling's gone. So now we're back at square one, essentially. So she's just like, well, we're kind of at a stopping point. Like, do you know if you want to get surgery? I said, no. Like, I keep in mind, I had told her this a whole bunch of times. I'm like, I don't want to get surgery. Like, is there any other option for me? Like, there has to be another option for me. And she's like, well, based on where your fibroids are located, like, you can, like, your uterus can get ruptured. Like, it's very likely it's going to happen. She's like, or you kind of just like find a way to manage the pain and kind of just like deal with it, essentially. So I was just like, okay, like, what am I supposed to do with those choices? Because again, like, the thing at the forefront of my mind is like, I'm trying to give myself a fair shot to have kids. So I'm like, rupturing the uterus, I'm not even trying to hear that. So I'm like, well, shoot, like, I'll just deal with the pain. Like, cause what else am I gonna do? I don't, it's already only been a year. I don't wanna have another surgery. So I said, well, we're just gonna deal with it and see where we go from here. So obviously, like, not an easy decision to make. Like, no one wants to choose to be in pain because, like, I am uncomfortable, y'all. Like, I am supremely uncomfortable, but like my periods are like 14 days. It's just insane amount of bleeding. I'm in so much pain, but I'm just like, I'm not entertaining surgery. Like, we're just not gonna do that. So in my mind, I'm like, we're gonna figure out a way to just push through this until I find the answer that absolutely works for me. So now we are at, when did I see them? November 2022. So keep in mind, y'all, we're on doctor number 3. And I originally had an appointment for a physical, but the doctor also happened to be an OB. So, we're going over my medical chart, blah, 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 blah. And he's going over my medical history. And he was like, oh, you've had fibroids? I said, yeah. But let's move on. I'm not even trying to talk about that. Like, he's like, no, let's look into it. I was like, we don't have to, like, can we not? Cause I'm just really just not even trying to deal with that. But he's like, let me just take a look. So side note, already a little weird because, like, he's a man and I kind of just feel like this is, like a lady issue, but I'm just like, whatever. Like, I've had no luck with these other few doctors. So I'm like, what difference is it going to make? We'll find out later. Anyway, but, so he's like, let me just take an ultrasound and see what it looks like, blah, blah, blah. So he takes a look at them and he's like, these are huge. I said, I know. He's like, I said, don't ask me about surgery. I said, I have gone through this. Let's just be on the same page now. It's not a discussion. I'm not doing it. He was like, okay. He's like, so what's your other? I said, I don't know. I said, I'll figure it out, but can we focus on why I originally came here? He was like, sure, but like, let me see you in a few weeks and let's take a look at this again. So, okay. Fast forward, now we're like at the end of December and my fibroids are growing much more than, like, pretty big from what they were back in November. And he was like, I said, I don't know. I said, just please, like, I don't even want to talk about this. And he was like, look, there's a medication that I actually think can help you with this. I said, is it a medication that's going to work for this though? I said, because the last doctor gave me all these medications that did absolutely nothing for me. He's like, no, it's going to help with fibroids. He was like, come see me next month and I'll, I have to, take some time to get ordered, blah, 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 blah. So now we are in, when did I see him again? February 2023. So he prescribed me this medication called Fibroid, which if y'all had luck with this, please let me know. It was a medication that I was told shrinks fibroids. Now, I have never heard of a medication that shrinks fibroids because where was it all this time? So I'm just like, he's like, yeah, it's gonna shrink your fibroids. I'm like, if this shrinks in my mind, like, if this really shrinks fibroids, like, where has this been? Like, where has this been? So I'm like, okay, keep in mind, y'all, fast forward, my fibroid, my pain, everything else is getting worse and worse and worse. So now I'm seeing him almost like every other week because now I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, I thought this was supposed to shrink it. He's like, oh, you just have to be patient with it. You just have to be patient with it. So again, y'all, things are getting worse. At this point, like, I'm laughing because like I can laugh at it now, but like I had just felt like pain was like low key my identity at this point. Like I'm just constantly in discomfort and also just a little bit in of a state of confusion because I'm like, am I ever going to figure out like what is going to fix this? Because like this medication is funky. It was too much. So fast forward. So March, April, May, everything's getting worse. So I go see him again. I'm like, this medication that's supposed to be shrinking, I said, it's doing the opposite. We did another ultrasound. I'm keeping track of my measurements, by the way. My fibroids are getting bigger. He's like, oh, sometimes it takes like 6 months to kick in. I'm like, dude, even though yes, I chose to be in pain and take all this, I'm like, I don't know how much more of this like I can endure. Like this is my life. Like keep in mind, y'all, everything is shut down for me at this point. All I'm doing is literally going to work and coming home. I can't really work out because I can't even bend because I'm in so much pain. I was scared to even go out like with my friends because at any moment I could potentially pass out. I could just have a crazy bleeding episode. Like I'm just a little paralyzed by this, if you will. So now June, but keep in mind, at the same time, I'm still like, nah, no surgery. June 2023, right? I'm home. So I do have to get like a little extra TMI with this, even though this whole video is low-key TMI. So I'm home and I feel like out of nowhere that like something is trying to pass through me. Just most bizarre experience. So I'm just laying there and I'm like, what is that? And you know, something's trying to pass through me vaginally. So I'm feeling something trying to come out and it just feels like there's a boulder trying to come out of me. And it's trying to make its way. I know y'all, just stay with me. It's trying to come out and whatever it is, it gets stuck and I have to actually push it out. So I push it out and I peek over and it is literally like the biggest blood clot I have ever seen in my life. Like the size of like a heart is the best way I could describe it. And again, super duper TMI. For context, because I was asked, you know, from a few people, like, how did I know it wasn't like a miscarriage or anything like that? Like there had not been like intimacy for quite some years. So I know for sure that was something that I could rule out. But I was just so disturbed by that. And then after that ginormous blood clot came out, it was just like this insane amount of bleeding, kind of just like a faucet, just, and I was like, okay, do we need to actually get surgery? Because what was that? I was just so freaked out by all that. So now the next day I'm in the doctor's office and I said, you know what? We actually need to get surgery. You know, so I bring it to him the next day and I said, look, I took a picture of it. I said, this is what came out of me last night. And I'm like, I know what I said all this time. We have to have surgery. I said, that was just the most abnormal thing I've ever experienced. And he was like, y'all, even with showing him the picture, and I'm like, I didn't even have to zoom. That's how crazy it looked. Showing him the picture, he was like, you just have to be a little more patient with the myfembry. I was like, I was like, hold on. You must be tripping. Because did you not just see what I just showed you? And I'm like, okay, did you miss the part? Like I had to push a blood clot out of me like that. And that wasn't like a 1, 2, 3 push. Like I was like struggling to push this out. And then faucet type bleeding and you telling me to be patient. I was like, this man must be out of his, I said, okay. I said, you know what? I said, I need to have surgery now. He's like, well, I don't know if I can. I said, refer me to somebody else. Cause I'm like, well, I'm not about to do this with you because the fact that you're not even alarmed by that, we're already done here. So he refers me to, we're now on doctor number 4, who I am going to say is my miracle doctor. But I say all that, but at first, y'all, when I met her, Keep in mind, I'm very, very edgy. Like, I'm already like, I have not had anybody like truly just treat me with care, you know, at this point. Cause I'm like, okay, he gonna refer me to this lady, but she just better like actually give a damn about me. That's all I kept thinking to myself. Like, please let somebody just take the time to like actually see what's wrong with me instead of just being like, here, medication, let's just do this, and just treating me like a number. But y'all, whew, this lady, I'm gonna try not to get emotional when I talk about her because she truly was like my miracle doctor. I met with her. So now we're in July, by the way. So just tell you that we're in July, so just a month later. She's looking at my paperwork and she's looking at everything that he sent over, and you could just see her face. She's just like, okay, I know he ran some tests. She's like, but I'm gonna run my own test. And I was already like, okay, girl. So she's like, I'm gonna run some tests and then, I'm gonna get back to you. So I was a doctor's office for a long time. So she's like, let me get your blood work. Let's take an ultrasound. Let me just take a good look at everything so I kind of know where we're going to go from here. So I was like, okay. She comes back in the room and she was like, just looking so like confused, but also concerned. She was like, so in his notes, he said, you're ready to have surgery now. She's like, I can't perform surgery on you right now. So in my head, I'm like, okay, like, is it my insurance? I was like, what is she talking about? Like, and she was like, your blood count? She's like, do you know what your blood count is? Like, and I was like, well, I knew I've always been anemic. And she's like, no. Like, I don't think you know how serious this is. Like, if I perform surgery on you right now, she was like, you can die. Like, your levels are awful. She's like, you're already gonna be losing so much blood in that surgery. She was like, he didn't. And we just gave each other this look like, because I'm looking at her like, girl, you know damn well he wasn't doing his job. Like, okay. And she was like, okay, I'm going to give you I'm going to prescribe you some iron. She's like, but I need to run some more tests on you because I need to really see what's going on. I don't feel like I have the full picture. So I already was kind of feeling at ease about that because I'm like, okay, like, I'm glad she's not taking the word of old boy over here because anyway. So fast forward, keep in mind this whole time, I'm already here like, okay, like, I hope she could say like, maybe a few weeks, because I'm just so anxious at this point to have this surgery, y'all, because I'm like, this has all just been such an insane roller coaster for me. So she gets back to me. She's like, I feel like there actually may be more fibroids under there. But she's like, there's also like a mass that's like covering like 50% of the uterus. So she's like, you actually have a lot going on in there. But she's like, first things first, let's get your blood levels up, because she's like, it's not safe to perform on you anytime soon. Now she has me on all types of restrictions. Like, I can't drive, I can't do all these things because, she's like, at any point, like, you can just black out. So I'm just like, great. So we're just going through the motions. But in my mind, I'm still thinking, okay, like, but we're gonna have it soon. I'm just like, yeah. Like, the iron's gonna build me up quick. And I'm thinking, like end of July, August, whatever. She gets back to me after running all the, her further tests, and she's like, we're not gonna be able to perform surgery until October. Y'all, I'm sitting in my bed and I just start like, I'm just hysterical crying. Like, I'm like, October? Because I'm thinking to myself, I cannot go another day feeling like this. And I'm just like, it was like the ugly cry too. Like, you're hyperventilating, you're just like, I just can't. And I just felt this presence come over me, and obviously it was God. I mean, okay, spoiler alert, it was God. Anyway, but I just felt this presence come over me. I just felt this voice here. I just heard this voice that was just like, please just trust. Like, please just trust this process. Cause I'm just like over here, like panicking, y'all. I'm like, please, like, October's too far. I need this done now. And the message I received was just like, please just trust. Like, trust, it has to go this way. Okay, so we are in our waiting season at this point. So pretty much this time, like I said, I had a lot of restrictions on me. Definitely had to have all eyes on me, which quick shout out to my friends and family and my coworkers who took such great care of me during this time off. But now we are getting close to surgery. So now we have my pre-op, and I'm feeling great. not physically, but mentally, because I'm like, okay, you know, we finna have this surgery. This is all gonna be done. Everything's gonna be great, right? Like, just that's what I'm believing. But then we go to my pre-op, and you know, taking a look at the fibroids. Obviously, they're getting bigger. We know it's expected, but whatever. But my blood levels are getting good, which is cool. But she was like, well, because, you know, I had, you know, expressed my concerns to her before about, hey, is my uterus going to be okay? You know, is she going to be ruptured? Is she going to be okay? And also everything's going to be fine. But now what she was saying, she's like, basically like the fibroid, one of the fibroids that's causing the most of the chaos is behind the uterine cavity. So now we're like, she's not really sure if it's going to be ruptured or not. So now I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I kind of just froze, because I'm thinking to myself, like, in that moment, I kind of just felt like we just went back to square one, because I'm like, this is what I was like avoiding all this time. Like, I'm like, what do you mean? So I'm like, okay. So now it's pretty much just back at that 50-50 mark. It could or it couldn't. So now, like, I'm trying, and honestly, y'all, like, I am struggling with just having faith it's gonna work out, right? Because I'm like, okay, like, I thought we were on the same page with this, like, we're gonna have this issue, but still praying my way through it. But also, like I said, being transparent, I'm also freaking out at the same time. So we're getting closer, and y'all, I probably, like, my levels are like up here every day up until the surgery, right? So keep in mind though, like, the morning of surgery, all of a sudden, like, all that stress, like, it was just gone. It was just the weirdest thing. Like, I woke up and I'm like, I said, man, I've been freaking out these last couple of days. Like, why do I just feel like just whatever that was just lifted off of me? So we're getting ready. Oh, because my dad flew down to come and take me to be with me for my surgery. And I'm praying, I'm talking to God. I'm like, I just was like, you know what? God, all I'm gonna ask you is just to guide the doctors. Cause like, I had been crying and venting and doing all this stuff. I'm like, you already know how I feel, man. Like, just guide the doctors. Just please guide the doctors. That's all I asked. And that's all I said. So pull up, you know, they're getting me ready for the prep and stuff. And then my doctor comes in the room, you know, she's talking to my dad and just asking us if we have any final questions. So then she's like, do you have any last questions for me? And I just felt like I was about to start crying. And I just looked at her and I just said, can you just, and I'm pointing to my uterus, I was like, can you just make sure? And she's like, I got you. And I was like, okay, God, you spoke to her already. But I was just like, okay, like, all right, like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm not gonna get emotional. I'm gonna keep it together, I promise. But anyway, so, you know, we proceed with surgery. You know, recovery was pretty awful, but that's neither here nor there. It was expected because I was cut in a few places. We can get into that another time. But, you know, when we were on our way out, they had just let us know like that, you know, they would give me the results, you know, in the next few days. So at this point, I don't know whether I'm affected or not. I don't know what has happened. So doctor calls me a few days later and she's just like, hey, I just want to go over your results. So at this point, I'm just like, all right. Like, I'm like, whatever it is, I'm ready for it. Like, whatever it is, I'm ready for it. And she was like, so we actually found 7 fibroids. We're able to, I was like, 7. But I was like, makes sense. With everything, there was a lot going on, this little cocktail down here, okay? She was like, found 7 fibroids, collapsing cysts, you know, all this extra tissue. She's like, we were able to successfully remove it. And she's like, I did just want to let you know, like, your uterus is just fine. I was like, what? And she was like, your uterus is just fine. Like, whenever you're ready to have children, like, you know, you're good to go. Like, you're healthy. And I was like, I just like was staring at my dad and I'm staring at the wall and I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, what? Y'all, it took such a long time for that to even register because like I said, I know I've said this like 75 times, but like, I just felt like I was just a girl who was always in pain. Like, that's just what it felt like. So to hear her say like, this is over, I'm like, what? There's me? Like, this is done? And she was like, yeah, like, you should have like, normal periods from now on. If anything changes, just let me know. And like, I just didn't even know what to do with that in that moment, but just like cry, thank God, cry again, thank God some more. But I was just like, damn, like I just never thought this would end. So I think to hear those words, I'm like, wow, we really are done with this. And just to kind of give you guys a little more of an update, so that was October 2023, right? 2024, first year, I had no hospital visits, no passing out, no WTF moments in the bathroom, like nothing, no crazy pain. Like for the first time ever, I had a normal period. Like I was like, who am I? Y'all, like 4-day period. Like, okay. Like I was like, the first couple times I'm like, there's no way. It might just be this month. It might just be this month. Like even to this day, we in May 2025, I have normalcy. Even with whatever changes are going on with me, like I have normalcy. And I never thought, even before all this fibroid drama, I had just accepted that was just kind of my thing. Like, oh, I don't have normal periods. Yeah, I'm in this crazy pain. It's normal, whatever. Like, it's just so beautiful to be somewhere that I never imagined myself being. So I just want to thank you guys for listening and for staying with me. I was a little hesitant on sharing this, to be honest with y'all, for a multitude of reasons. One, just the delicacy of kind of what had happened. Also, two, I'm nervous about speaking on camera, so I was very much in my head, but God has been on my tail about sharing this testimony because it just started like coming from random people, then my coworkers and my friends. And the last 3 weekends at church, the message was like, if you got a story and you sitting on it, you need to help somebody. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I get it. So I am here sharing my testimony, but also too, I also just have to be reminded that like, the testimony is not obviously just about me. It's about sharing, one, what God has done for me, and also two, to help somebody who is going through this, who has went through this, so they know like they're not alone. I certainly felt alone, until I found other people who were going through something similar. So I really hope I can be a help to somebody. I did not see a light at the end of the tunnel with this, but took me some time, and now we're here. So I hope, if you are going through this or you know anyone going through this, that there's a light coming soon for you too. I will drop my information below. If anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be speaking to y'all soon.